Mr. Chairman, thank you. Mr. Beckner, thank you for presenting this today and making this morning probably more interesting than I cared for it to be. Let me just state my position since you've brought it up. About the last meeting, as a matter of fact, when we were talking about the Rowdies issue, I believe it was you that said when we voted down the site in Town and Country, you said something like location, location, location. I am telling you today something similar. Timing, timing, timing. The fact that you brought it up now, I think, brings in a whole series and whirlwind of emotions that perhaps would not be part of this dialogue if this was an issue that was presented at some other time. But it is what it is, and we all are here, and we were elected to deal with the hand that we are dealt. So that makes it incumbent upon me to state my position, and I think you made some reference about fear of this and fear of that. I'm not fearful of anything. I'm not only going to state my position, I'm going to restate my position, and my position will be the same. In March of 2004, by Executive Order number 2004-3, Mayor Pam Iorio issued authority vested in her as that mayor to allow domestic partnership benefits in the city of Tampa. That was done. In that form of government, it was not necessary or mandated or required. There was no obligation for city council to weigh in on it. Nonetheless, I chose to, in a public forum, support what she had done as executive order because I thought that that was the right thing to do. I have gotten much backup information about that, but I think that today's discussion really doesn't warrant any more than that on that particular part of my comments. I did that at a city council meeting because I thought that that was important. I thought that was part of me weighing in for having run in that city and supporting everybody, Republicans, Democrats, gays, straights, anybody. So I thought at that time that Mayor Iorio was wise to offer that. There were some concessions. It did not extend to the pension. It only extended to health care, et cetera. 2004, the city of Tampa, I think I can say comfortably, was flush with money, and it was a good time to review that. Hillsborough County was as well, with a larger budget, flush with money, and that was something that could be considered more easily. Because of the timing here, Mr. Beckner, we have brought up, as I said, a whirlwind of emotions. And so people are directing what your motion is and what you intend and what is perceived that you're intending as whatever their version wants to be. And everybody has that right. I've heard people talk about this and how it flies in the face of the sacredness of the sacrament of matrimony. As a Catholic, I believe that. I believe seriously that the sacrament of matrimony between a man and a woman is something I will respect to the day I die. But this is not about my Catholicism. It's not about somebody's disagreement with that. This is simply about policy. But again, because we're discussing it now, we've got so many other issues that enter into it. I think at the base of what you're wanting to do today, you have a problem, and so do I, about what was passed in 2004. And as part of that motion by Ms. Storms, Commissioner Storms said that it's my intent to establish a policy in this board that we will not extend benefits, employee benefits, to non-marital partners. And so my motion is that the board would adopt a formal policy opposing such a measure and directing the county administrator not to expend any more effort on this. And it went on, and I believe that that request initially came to the board because some employees were asking about it, and my former colleague in this seat, Congresswoman Castro, was the one that brought that up for discussion. Some of the research I did, I looked at the policy that our attorney, Ms. Lee, provided me upon my request, and that policy was 2.0600.00, effective date April 2091. The policy lists that it is a policy of the Board of County Commissioners and the county administrator shall provide information and research resources to individual commissioners upon their request, provided, however, that when in doubt as to the appropriateness of an individual's commissioner's request because of the magnitude of the request, time limitations, etc., the county administrator may refer that request to the board for review and approval at regular board meetings. That is a policy of this county commission. Ms. Lee, I wonder if maybe you could enlighten me here. When Commissioner Storms, or former Commissioner Storms, asked that that attachment be part of her motion, she directed no more discussion and no more weighing in from the administrator and administration. Is that something that has been attached to any other policies that are existent to this board and for this board as we operate today?
Commissioner, there is another policy on the board that I am aware of, and possibly the county administrator with longer history with the county may know of others, but there was a policy concerning the participation and recognition of gay rights activities that require a supermajority vote of the board. But I don't know of any other
It's
policies.
not gay rights, it's gay pride function.
Gay
It's not-
pride,
it's not
you're
gay
right, I'm
rights.
sorry, Commissioner, I misspoke. It's gay pride activity.
Okay, but whoever brought that forward, that was simply a part of the motion that in order to rescind it or overturn it, then that was going to have to be a majority vote.
Supermajority.
Supermajority. Okay, but that's still some criteria that's different from this one. This one says, unless it's rescinded at some point, in perpetuity, the administrator is not to
Expend
research
any
this.
more time on that.
Okay.
That's correct. I don't know of any other policy that has that condition.
Okay, well, on that part, I agree. I don't want any former board to tell me why or why not, when and when not. I can't get any information from you, Ms. Bean, to make a conscientious decision. That is something probably I would have a problem with, regardless of the subject matter of that particular motion. That board had the right to put into practice what they believed in by a majority vote. But at the same time, future boards should not be mandated to operate under the dictates of that commissioner or any commissioner. That's one part of what we are discussing today. Kevin, to you, I think I've stated my position clearly. But regardless of my position on this, as we talk about this today, if we went as far as Mr. Sharp went, and I agree with him on lots of points, on many points, I'm not sure that it could be fiscally responsible. I could be fiscally responsible to myself if at this time I considered enhancing benefits unless it was financially feasible. And I think you've done a good thing based on what I thought you were going to come with and what you have done. You're asking about rescinding a policy and not looking at this to say yay or nay on supporting domestic partnerships, gay or straight, heterosexual or homosexual. If we consider what your motion is, and at the end of this, I want you to repeat it again. If you consider the motion you have on the floor and tear away any of the other emotional issues and religious issues and anything else that anybody has brought into this as a part of it, I think it's okay for us to look at it. Depending on what comes back, no, I wouldn't be afraid that maybe it wouldn't be as cost prohibitive as some might hope and others might not think, because we have to deal with an issue as it evolves and based on the information that comes back to us. In that process, I would tell you again, knowing what I know now, unless something tells me differently, I couldn't support it because of the financial status of this community and this county. We could look at it. We could look at it in some cases where, when we're still in the process of RFPs, to ask the company that we select to perhaps consider an opportunity for us to put in a clause that later on, if we are in a better, much better financial situation, we would look at this. And time would tell and the finances would tell. I mean, we could look at this and we could craft it different ways. We could couch it different ways. We could say, okay, maybe that's something we might want to consider and take away our religious beliefs and look at our legislative obligations and perhaps say, maybe they could have the opportunity, the domestic partnerships groups, have the benefits, but we not subsidize it.